Well, Hajiya Kafilat Ogbara joins us now. She is a former governorship aspirant in Ogun State to continue our focus on women in politics. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Well, when we speak about women coming into politics, for you, I mean, you've been there as an aspirant. What does that mean in terms of women? I mean, are we seeing a lot more women coming on now than when you were an aspirant?
Well, as it is, as we speak today, I think it's declining, and it's really very unfortunate. But it's not by coincidence, and it's not an accident that we are where we are today. Men have always, marginalized women from the beginning, and that has been since there had been governance, authority, and power. If you recall back in 1893, New Zealand was the first nation to encourage women, to participate in politics. And the men had been there before that time. And then, Australia took it over a year after. Coming down to Africa here, you find out that the first nation that encouraged women was Zimbabwe, former Rhodesia. That was in 1919, I think. And then that was just in Africa. And then if you come to Nigeria now, women started just like yesterday in 1954. And the men had been there all these years. And even when we started in that 1954, they started at the Eastern region. And there was a caveat. In 1919 in Africa, there was a caveat that except, the status of your husband will determine if you can participate in politics. And then in Nigeria, you have to be a taxpayer before you can participate. They started that in the East, and then they came to Western region in, 1955.
But that applies to the men too.
It didn't really apply. The men had always been there. The men had always been there. And then now, as it is now, there are so many factors that are militating against women. For instance, there are two major ones that women, it will take a very long time before we can get over it. I'm talking about religion and, of course, tradition. Talking about tradition, you find out that, most of the time when you talk about women participating in politics, if, for instance, a woman goes out for a political meeting and then comes back home 2 a.m. in the night and the mother-in-law is at home, they see the man as, if he's the man, they see the man as, building his career, is trying to bring food home and all that. But if it's a woman, they see such a woman as a bad wife and a bad mother.
Why is it that our politics, sorry to cut in there, we love night meetings?
Night meetings?
Yes.
That is when the real decisions are made.
At night?
At night.
Why can't they make them during the day?
No. That is when the real decisions are made. And religious-wise, I can tell you, in the Holy Quran, you find out that there's a surah that Almighty Allah dedicated just for women, Surah to Nisa. If you open that chapter, you will see how, women were praised and how to respect women, how to adore them and all these things. And I'm sure in the Bible too, there's this posture that, the woman should be submissive to the husband, he should be behind, and then the man in front and all these things. Recently, General Buhari made a statement that he will not allow, he will not tolerate a female, the first lady's office if he wins the election. That is the position of Sharia. That is Islamic law.
No.
And I can tell you, excuse me.
A moment here.
For some of us who are Muslims.
He gave reasons.
Yes, I understand.
He said it's unconstitutional.
For some of us who are Muslims, we don't have a problem with that. But I can tell you, some people are already criticizing that. They feel that, he wants to take the women back. We have come a long way. Look at Babangida's wife. She started the rural women development and all these things. Even in the holy books, there are some roles that women play to support their husbands. Aisha, when Muhammad was alive, went to war with them, and they were taking care of the men that went to war, that were wounded and things like that. So there's always this role, whether you like it or not, directly or indirectly, they impact on lives. The first lady now, she is doing Women for Change and all these things. Somehow they do emancipation, advancement for women and all that. Stella Obasanjo, of blessed memory, she took, she had this flair for special children. It's about your own conviction, your discretion, and of course your intention to try and see how you can impact, in the society. So these things vary, depending on people's opinion. And of course, as it is now, I have, in so many, women fora, I have taken time to tell women that most of the time women are women's own enemy. The population as it is today, the women, we have a numerical strength that, we can capitalize on, and then ensure that at the basis, it's not about coming out to contest, I want to be a House of Rep member, I want to be governor, I want to be all these things. You need to contest the position of the seat of power, where the real decisions are making, be a power broker at the party level, at the ward level. At the ward level, when you see the ward meeting, you see so many women and few men. But the few ones are the ones taking the decision.
So who did the
but
women
if
vote
women,
for?
Yes, they vote against themselves. They, castigate one another and, they backbite about the woman and all that. But if the women take a position that, look, in this ward, we want a woman to be our chairman. We are more. Why should we want a woman? And at every ward level like that, it goes like that.
What if the woman is not the best for that position?
No, you have capable, able women.
No. In the midst of capable hands, we have a more capable hand. What if the more capable hand is not a woman?
What do you mean by more capable hand? In politics, if you go even to the grassroots, even these women that are not really well educated, some of these traditional factors that I'm telling you about, they have debarred the girl child from the beginning. You don't have enough, qualitative education. If you don't have enough education, it will affect the kind of job you get to be economically empowered. If you are not economically empowered, you cannot be a politician because it's not cheap. Politics is very expensive, I can tell you that. So these things have started from the beginning. And so women need to take the bull by the horns. I was telling Abike, my sister outside, that I am surprised. Why did you have to leave? We had so many, even in the Senate, most of the women have been dropped. So we need more women to take up this position. You were doing a good job. And I don't know why, you shouldn't have. The struggle continues. We have to continue to, struggle for this thing. The men will not want to allow us, except there's a deliberate policy.
What about
encourage women.
The
and at the national conference,
affirmative action
the affirmative
policy.
action is on. Look at Kenya. They have been able to, imbuild this 35% into their constitution. If Nigeria can have only that, we'll be fine. So that is a major problem we have.
In fact, that was where I was coming to, because
but President Goodluck Jonathan has been doing a good job
we really
to appoint
have to
women.
make everything more legal, but we haven't been able to do that. For instance, you made mention of the office of the First Lady.
Yeah.
We still have not been able to put that in our
No,
constitution.
it's not in the constitution.
So
it's
if
not even important.
So if
they act like NGOs. They solicit for funds
Good.
on their own. They don't have any budget. They just do these things on their own. They don't have a budget. So, that's why I said it's not a bad idea. I don't have to be a first lady to have an NGO to see how I can impact in my immediate, society. I don't have to be a first lady to do that.
But are the women also talking to themselves in terms of, well, if they get to certain meetings and they have the number, what if they start from there?
We
Encourage
talk, we have been talking, and we have not stopped talking. But the good thing is that this present administration, even Obasanjo administration, had tried, to expose women. But this present administration has even gone beyond the Beijing promise, because we have even over 35% in appointive positions now, which is, trying to bridge that gap that we already have in terms of elective offices. So, and the offices that they have even given women, they are not just, the women, let's just appoint them. Look at the finance ministry, petroleum, and all this. These are key positions that are, sensitive, that are challenging, and that can prove whether the woman is capable or not. So this is very encouraging, and we need, subsequent government, to improve on this and ensure that, the women get their right pride of place.